The Incredible Melting Man. What is this rubbish? Let's get into it. The Incredible Melting Man is from 1977. It lasts 1 hour 26 minutes and it stars no one you've ever heard of. That's fair. Now, why did I watch this? Well, this is a film I always wanted to watch because when I was a kid, I had the book this movie was based on. Really? Yeah. And it sat on my shelf. Is it good? Well, it sat on my shelf for a long time, and I was too scared to read it because because of the cover. Every time I picked it up, I thought, oh, I'm not reading that. Why did you dye it? And I bought it in a charity shop for like 5p, and I thought, this looks like that kind of thing. And the more I looked at the cover, and I was about 9, and I thought, I'm not reading that, it looks too scary. So eventually we watched the entire movie. You should have just read it and saved me from having to watch this nonsense. Well, the movie opens with a space launch. Yeah, it's clearly stock footage. Well, it's stock footage of a solar flare. There's these 2 astronauts on board. One is called Steve, I don't know the other one's name. But the solar flare, they're near Saturn, and they're saying this is beautiful, oh, I wish everyone could see it. And then the solar flare gets out of control and sends the rocket ship spiralling back to Earth. Yeah, and it blinds them for a little bit and kills one of them. We cut to the hospital and one of the astronauts is there. He's bandaged up a lot. And this is Steve. He's going to be the melting man. Yeah. He's in hospital bed. He's restrained. He's strapped to the bed for some reason. I don't know why. But the doctor speaks to one of the nurses and says, let's keep this a secret. No one needs to know he's here. There's nothing we can do for him. It's too late. Yeah. When the doctor and the nurse leave, Steve bursts out of his restraints and he looks in the mirror. Yeah, and he looks pretty much the same as he did. Yeah, he does, yeah. Mildly different. After this, we see the nurse come back into the room. She sees droplets of blood, nothing else, and she runs away. She runs down a corridor in slow motion. Yeah. And she keeps running. Yeah, she runs right through a glass window onto the street. So the doctor, Ted, discovers this and he gets on the phone to an old general who was also involved in this mission somehow. This is General Perry, and they say, well, Steve's escaped. He's killed one of our nurses, has he? And the general says, well, we have to find him before sunrise tomorrow morning. Why? I don't know. We see Steve out and about. He's still mutant now, and he comes upon a fisherman, and he grabs the fisherman's face and tears his head off. Yeah. You see the fisherman's head being thrown into the river. It looks shocked. Yeah, well, I'd look shocked as well if my head was pulled off. The general flies into town, and Ted and the general take a car ride together, and they're discussing Steve, and they say his mind's completely gone by now. How do they know? I don't know. And they say he needs human cells to survive, but we must get him before sunrise tomorrow. Yeah, 7 AM, apparently. Yeah. At this point, we catch up with the fisherman's head. It's rolling along the river.
Messing about on the river.
Comes down a small waterfall where some little boys are smoking cigarettes. Yeah, they think it's disgusting, because it is. It is. A little girl joins them and they decide to play hide and seek. So they say to the little girl, like, you seek, we'll run and hide, count to 50. 50?
50?
Yeah, it seems a lot, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, she counts to 50, she turns around and she's like, where are you? Come on guys, where are you? I don't think she knows how to play. You can't just ask for that. Anyway, she doesn't find them. She sees Steve. And Steve is in full melting mode now. Yeah, he's hideous. And he comes towards her. And she runs off. And she runs home and tells her nan, Nanny, it's Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein. And I never see any of these people again. Yeah, for all we know, the little boys are still hiding to this day. Later on we see Ted, he's out hunting for Steve, and he's got a little like PKE meter, like a little radiation meter that clicks when radiation is near, and it starts going crazy.
Click, 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 click.
I don't know how he decided to search this area. No, neither do I. It's a good job he did. Yeah. He doesn't find Steve, but he finds one of Steve's melted off ears.
What's this here?
Disgusting. And then we cut to some creepy photographer taking photographs of a young woman. Yeah, she's nodding to her out in the great outdoors, and she's like, oh, is this nice, is this sexy? And then he's like, listen, take your top off. Yeah, and she's like, no, I'm not doing that type of modelling. I'm not taking my top off for you. you can get your mind out the gutter. Yeah, so he just grabs it off her. Jail this man! She stumbles back and trips over the fisherman's body. Yeah, so the cops are called. The cops come in and they don't arrest the photographer, even though he should be straight to jail. Yes, he should. But while the cops are there, Ted and General Perry drive past. The sheriff knows Ted because it's a small town. He says, Ted, look at this. What do you think of this? And Ted's like, oh, I don't know anything about it. And the general's hiding his face. From who? Who knows you, mate? They drive off to Ted's house to see his wife Judy. Yeah, he's pregnant, by the way. Yeah. Now, as the sun's going down, we get some nice footage of the melting man. He's laundering the land like the Incredible Hulk. And his little flashback to the shuttle incident with the solar flare. Yeah, it's just exactly the same footage during the opening of the movie again. After this, we cut to Ted's house. Ted, his wife Judy, and the general are all there. The general decides to go for a nap. Yeah. Okay, Nate, you just arrived. Yeah, he has a nap in Ted's bed.
Well, good night.
Ted discovers that Judy's mother and her new friend, Harold, they're coming for dinner tonight. And Ted's like, oh, can you not put them off tonight?
Not your mother.
And she's like, no, it's too late, they're on their way. Yeah, and then they see the nun and Harold, and they're like kissing in the car. Harold's trying to drive, the nun keeps snitching on. And then they start to steal lemons. Yeah, they do stop outside someone's garden and start stealing lemons. They get spooked by a noise. Turns out it's just a dog. They get back in the car and they're like, oh, Harold, what are we like? Yeah, and then the Incredible Melting Man appears in front of the car. And I think he eats them. I think it looks like it from what we can see. By now it's night time. The Incredible Melting Man starts heading towards Ted's house for some reason. Yeah, Ted gets a phone call saying that Judy's mum has been found. She's dead. Harold's dead. Yeah, so Ted goes to meet the sheriff at the crime scene because he knows the sheriff, like I said. And the general stays at home to look after Judy. Judy goes to bed for a little sleep because it's like 11 o'clock at night by now. Yeah, the clock specifically shows 11:11. I don't know why. But Ted meets the sheriff and he says to the sheriff, let's get in the car, let's go find them. Yeah, and the sheriff says, who? And Ted never answers. Meanwhile at home, the general is helping himself to all of Ted's food from his refrigerator. Yeah, he's like a teenage babysitter in this scene. And then he hears a noise outside and he steps outside and the Incredible Melting Man rats his face off. Jesus! Yeah, it takes the general's face right off. Ted returns home to find the general's body. He and the sheriff rush up to the door and they're like, Judy, where's Judy? And they go upstairs and Judy's just lying in bed asleep. She's fine. Yeah, she didn't even hear anything. Or pretended not to. After this, we cut to a young couple returning to their nearby home. There's sticky stuff on the door handle. Oh dear. Yeah, so the guy goes in, the young husband, he goes in, he says to his wife, stay there, I'll go and check out. And then he goes in, a few minutes later, nothing's happened. So she goes in and she finds him being eaten by the Incredible Melting Man. So she rushes to the kitchen where there is a dark door that she doesn't use it. She just puts the fridge in front of the kitchen door and just sits there with a meat cleaver screaming. Yeah, she calls the police as well. And then the Incredible Melting Man, his arm bursts through the back door. Yeah, and she chops it off with a meat cleaver.
Good for her.
The sheriff and Ted turn up. They follow a trail of melting man-ness. He's like a snail. He leaves something behind him everywhere he goes. So they find him and he's heading into a chemical factory. Why? I don't know, but he's going into a chemical factory and they follow him in. They split up, they both get a handgun each. Yeah, because it's America. Well, because the sheriff gave Ted a gun, right? There's also two other cops on the scene who are patrolling the chemical plant. Yeah, and then Ted and the sheriff corner Melting Man, and he's like at the top of a staircase, like on the corner. So Ted comes one direction, sheriff comes from another direction, and the sheriff just opens fire on the Melting Man. The Melting Man grabs him, chucks him over the top of the staircase onto electrical tower lines. Zzz. He's dead. He is dead. Ted starts to try to reason with the melting man. He's saying, Ted, it's Steve, it's me. I know you're in there, Steve. I can help you. He can't. No, but he's telling him he can. He's like, listen, it's me, your old friend, Dr. Ted. Yeah, so the melting man gets close to him and clotheslines him over the top like it's a Royal Rumble. Ted's fallen, he's dangling onto the edge and he's saying, help me, Steve, please help me. Yeah, and for some reason the melting man reaches down and helps him up.
He's a good guy.
Brings him back over the side like a good friend. And at this point the two patrolling police appear on the staircase. They see what's going on and they shoot. Yeah, they shoot Ted.
Idiots.
Yeah. And he is left to die slowly. Yeah, the melting man takes out the two carts easily and just staggers off. He goes back downstairs. Yeah, listen to this. He goes back downstairs and he lies beside some bins and just lies there and just melts to death as the sun comes up. He's just like, oh, I'm melting. He doesn't seem bothered. He just like gone to sleep. The next thing we see is a janitor coming in to clean up at the power station. He goes over where the bins are, sees a big mess and just sweeps it up. He just sweeps up the melting man's melted remains and puts it in a bin. Meanwhile, the radio is playing the sounds of today's space launch. Looks like it's all going to happen again. What a lot of rubbish this is. Well, I'm glad I've seen it. Really? Well, I'm glad I can say I've finally watched it. Really? It wasn't great. It was total rubbish. I would not recommend this to anyone. And in Troll 2 is dad. Knack and me was dad. That this is so cheap and so nasty. And I lied. Watch Son of the Deaths, they're quite funny. They're not supposed to be funny. Not that they are. Well, that's Incredible Melting Man. Hit like, hit subscribe. I'll see you next time. Dreadful.